A round of 5.7, a round of 7.62 by 39, and a 9 mil. I could probably pay off my house with this. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Will, and today I want to talk to you guys about different types of ammunition for pistols and rifles. Sorry, I got shotguns on the brain because I just did that video. Different kinds of ammo for pistols and rifles. I lumped them in together because they're basically the same in terms of the different types of rounds you can get with maybe one or two exceptions on either side, but it's not going to be vastly different like ammo for a shotgun versus a pistol. So I wanted to make this video mostly for the new gun owners out there. The last couple years or so, well, especially the last year, people have been buying a lot of guns for self-defense, and handguns and rifles have been very popular, going off the shelves like crazy. And if you've never been into guns, you've never known anybody that's been into guns, you may not know what the different types of rounds are. It may all sound like gibberish and just be a little overwhelming. So I wanted to try to break it down and make it a little simple for you guys. So we'll start out with your most basic standard type of round, and that is going to be a full metal jacket. I'll roll in a picture of all this. So a full metal jacket is a normal round where the bullet is encased in a copper jacket like this one, and there's no opening, there's no exposed lead, there's no other pieces or parts to it. It's just a rounded bullet. This is also called ball ammo a lot of times, which I think originally came from a military term. Don't know for sure. But this is your standard practice ammo. Your full metal jacket stuff, typically you're not going to want to use that for self-defense, in most cases at least, because it doesn't expand. It just puts a hole through something, and that's with rifles and with pistols. But this is just your cheap, normal training practice ammo. This is also worth like 80 cents by itself right now. Thanks, 2020. And you can have full metal jacket for both handguns and rifles. So this is a full metal jacket rifle round. This is an AR round. Again, I'll roll in pictures of all this stuff. But yeah, again, just normal training type ammo. I personally do keep full metal jacket loaded in my AR. One, because even in non-corona times, more expensive ammo is more expensive. The nicer, like duty defensive rifle ammo is more expensive, and rifles do their damage differently than handguns. It's a little off topic, but it'll make sense. Rifles do their damage by transferring energy using velocity. This is going to be going a lot faster than this when I fire it. So the velocity and the energy transfer is how most of the damage is done with a rifle bullet. So I'm not super worried about it fragmenting or expanding or anything like that. If I have to use this defensively, it's still going to cause a pretty significant wound if I had to use it. But yeah, that's your full metal jacket ammo, mostly just practice stuff. I choose to load my defensive rifle with full metal jacket. So now let's talk about hollow points. This is a hollow point. It's called I'll roll in a picture. It's called a hollow point because the point is hollow. It's got a cavity in the end of it. This in particular happens to be a Federal Hydroshock standard pressure. I don't like to do plus P, which is plus P ammo is an increased pressure round over standard pressure. It's intentionally meant to have more pressure. I personally don't like plus P rounds. That's just me. I like standard pressure for various reasons, but to each his own basically. Yeah, hollow points are your standard defensive round, especially in a handgun. That hollow cavity at the front is designed once it hits a meaty, fleshy, liquidy medium to expand, which means that the hole it's putting through the object is supposed to get bigger, meaning it does more damage. Again, that's more important for a handgun than it is for a rifle, because handguns aren't going to have as much velocity. They're just not as capable. They don't have as much energy to transfer into a target as a rifle round does. So it has to have some other way to cause more damage and to be more effective at stopping a threat. They do have hollow point rifle rounds as well. I don't have any of those on hand right now, but those can be used for all kinds of things. A lot of match ammo for rifles is actually like boat tail hollow point. Boat tail, don't even worry about that. That's a whole nother thing. But hollow point ammo is pretty common for rifles as well. Not as common as it is for handguns though. Now let's talk about soft point ammo. soft points are kind of like full metal jackets and kind of like hollow points in that they look more like full metal jackets. They just have an exposed soft lead tip on the front instead of an open cavity or a fully encased lead core. And the reason that's there is kind of like the hollow point to help the bullet expand once it hits a target. The lead is squishier than the copper is, so once that lead on the front starts to kind of squish back in, the rest of the bullet should expand and mushroom out a little bit if the bullet works as it's supposed to, and give you a bit more damage also while transferring energy. Soft points are going to be far more common in rifles. I've never actually seen a soft point. No, I take that back. I have seen soft point handgun ammo, mostly for revolvers though. But these are fairly common hunting rounds, and they will also get the job done when it comes to self-defense. You know, that expansion, especially with the actual energy of the bullet hitting the target, it's going to cause damage. It's going to work well for self-defense. So not a bad choice for a defensive round, especially if you're using a rifle versus a pistol. But, you know, you have to make that decision for yourself on which one you'd want to go with. And the last type of round that I have here in front of me is a ballistic tip. Now this one happens to be for a 5.7 pistol or a P90 or the Ruger 5.7. There's a few guns now that are chambered in 5.7, but this is the only example of a ballistic tip that I have. And essentially the ballistic tip round is a fairly standard bullet that's hollow in the front like a hollow point, and then they take a plastic tip that matches the profile of the rest of the bullet and they stick it in that hole in the front. What that does is it aids in aerodynamics, so it makes the bullet more aerodynamic as it's traveling down range, and it will either help the bullet expand like a hollow point or fragment once it hits something. Both of those things being intended to cause more damage. Ballistic tips are very common when it comes to hunting rounds. That's where I've seen them the most. You can get, like I said, this little 5.7 that's a ballistic tip for a handgun. Or I've never seen a ballistic tipped handgun round. Not saying they're not out there, but I've never seen a ballistic tip handgun round. Had to think for a second. But yeah, also would be good for defensive applications. Probably wouldn't be my first choice, but yeah, you could absolutely use ballistic tip ammo for that, because again, it's a very common hunting round for medium to big size game. So if it can take down a deer, then it can definitely defend you and your life against a human being. It's kind of my standard of measure. If I didn't want to shoot at a deer with this thing, am I going to want to use it for self-defense kind of thing? So that being said, caliber counts too. Now there are a lot of other types of ammo out there that I don't have in front of me for handguns and for rifles. For example, lead round nose. It's a very common revolver round specifically, but that is a pure lead bullet. There's no jacket or anything like that. There's also like cast hardball and things like that, which same thing, it's just a pure lead bullet. There's no jacket, there's no hollow point, nothing like that. I don't have any of those on hand, but they are commonly available when ammunition is commonly available, but they're usually more revolver type of round in the first place. So yeah, kind of a quick video, and definitely not all inclusive, but I wanted to kind of break it down to the basics and give a lot of you newer gun owners out there an idea of like, okay, somebody says JHP or jacketed hollow point or hollow point. Well, what does that mean? Those are all the same thing. Those are your hollow point ammo. Or they say FMJ or ball. That's your full metal jacket, just your range training type ammo. JSP, jacketed soft point, the soft point ammo we talked about. Ballistic tip, just kind of your more basic types of ammunition, types of bullets and projectiles in rifle and pistol rounds, to kind of give you an idea of what the differences are and help you make a decision on what you would prefer to load your defensive gun with. Now that being said, ammo in 2021 is kind of scarce, and at this point, if you can get it, it doesn't really matter what type of ammo it is. If you don't have any ammo to keep in your defensive gun and you can get a hold of something that it will shoot, it's going to be better than using it like a club or a hammer. So keep that in mind, take it with a grain of salt. But that's really all I had today, guys. because I just wanted to get that information out there for the newer gun owners. If you guys have any questions about anything like this, please let me know. Post it down in the comments below, or you can shoot me an email or a DM on Instagram. I'll have those in the description of the video. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Y'all take it easy, roll tide, and I'll see you later.